Greetings, Android users. This is Reverend Kyle, your Minister of Mobile Devices. And in this video, we will be discussing NFC, or Near Field Communication. Just as a bit of a background, Near Field Communication allows one device to essentially beam information to another device in order to share it or to send a payment, or it actually also can be used as a reader to read a piece of information off of what's called a tag. It's a little bit complicated since it is a newer piece of technology. Most of your devices that have been made in the last couple years, well, I shouldn't say most, but a lot of the devices are incorporating an NFC chip. A lot of times people have no idea what to do with it. So the purpose of this video is to demonstrate to you what you can do with the NFC chips in your devices. Now, I have two Nexus devices here, a Nexus 7 and the Nexus 4 phone. Curious enough, the Nexus 4 and the Nexus 10 have a different type of NFC chip than the Nexus 7 does, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later. But essentially all NFC devices have the ability to, at the very least, zap a piece of data to and fro from each other. And so that's what I'm going to demonstrate for you here first. What I'm going to do is I've actually taken a picture with my Nexus 4 phone here, and let's just get to it. And so here is a picture of me cooking bacon this morning, and I'm going to beam this to this. Now, this is a little difficult to show, and I apologize if it's not intuitive here, but you can't really show the two sides of a device at the same time. So I'm going to show you here that I'm just, you know, both devices are on and unlocked, which is a requirement of NFC to work. And I'm going to touch, now the NFC chip for the Nexus device is up here, and it's about right here for the 4. So if I put the 4 next to, and let me separate them again here so they're both, okay. So I'm going to touch them together, and you'll notice it says touch to beam. And so on the Nexus 7, it's just sitting dormant. It doesn't look like anything's going on. And like I said, this is a little complicated to show two sides of a device at the same time. But if I turn this around, and we'll just assume there's nothing going on there. Let me get rotated back. It's critical that they're lined up correctly. Because if they're not lined up correctly, it doesn't work. So it says touch to beam. So if I tap that, it's actually beaming to the Nexus 7 device. And you can see it up here. It says incoming beam. Now we'll zoom in here. So once I've touched a beam, and I apologize again because this is very complicated to show this with one camera, but an incoming beam, now it's already sent the data. It's just a matter now of waiting for it to come across. Oh, there we go, beam complete. So now if I tap that, there's my bacon. So it's the same picture on both devices, and the full picture is over here and over here, and I would imagine I'd be able to beam items back to the other device as well. So that's a big chunk of the NFC process of sending data. And you can send other things. You can send pictures, you can send music, you can send movies, things of that nature, just by having it up on the screen and then sending it by touching the two devices together, and then it'll say touch the beam, and boom, off it goes. So that's one piece of the NFC. So then we're going to talk about another piece here in just a moment. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about here are NFC tags. Now, I have recently gone out to a website, tagsfordroid.com, and have purchased a few of their tags. Looks like I got some stickers here, and then a keychain tag, and then some small sticker tags as well. And I bought these specific ones These are what's called NTAG 203, NTAG 203. Let me throw this out here. So it's NTAG 203. These are the types of tags that are compatible with the Nexus 4 and the Nexus 10. They are actually universally compatible. So all devices that have NFC, as far as when this video was made, can use this structure of tags, and these are that type of tag. Now there's also another type of tag, and you'll see them, and I believe it's pronounced MIFARE and or MIFARE. These types of tags do not work for the Nexus 4 and the Nexus 10, but they seem to be compatible with other devices. So the Nexus 7, for example, can read that. Now, what's the difference here? Well, the NTAG 203 has an effective size limit of about 130 to 140 bytes of data, whereas the MIFARE, I've seen them as far as 1 kilobyte, 2 kilobyte, even I think I just recently saw a 4 kilobyte. So you can see that the MIFARE type of NFC tag is going to be able to contain more data. But to be honest with you, there isn't a whole lot of data you really need to put on these tags for the type of usage that I'm going to do and demonstrate for you now. So again, if you're going to purchase these for the Nexus 4 or the Nexus 10, get the NTAG 203, and if you're going to get it for any other device, I would obviously recommend checking with your manufacturer, but the MIFARE are probably going to be your answer. Okay, so that's that. Here are the actual tags themselves. I got a fancy little keychain one. I thought that was kind of cool. This was something that Tags for Droid threw in. Now the reason I went with Tags for Droid is because, to be honest with you, they were the ones that had the most information about what type of tag I should get, so I really trusted them. They seemed like a reliable source, and I'll tell you, I ordered these. They came very quickly. Bang for my buck. The cost was very cheap. They seem durable, sturdy, obviously made with 3M products, so that's good. And then of course the selling point for me were all the cool fun stickers that I got. So I'm assuming the stickers are meant to be put onto these tags to demonstrate, okay, well, here's what I want my device to do when I'm in the car, here's when I'm riding the bike, which by the way I don't ever do. Here's one I'm wearing a chef hat, so I guess I'm cooking. Here's one where I'm sleeping, so I must be at work. So that's why I went with them. So, but there are other websites you can get them from as well. You need to have a piece of software that can also talk to these. Without the software, they would need to be programmed specifically for, let's say, a website. So if I were to program this tag to point to a specific website, when I go up to it with my device and I tap it to this tag, then that website should open up. But these have to be programmed to do that. The other use for these is, let's say I'm at work. I really don't want my phone to be beeping through meetings or while I'm on a phone call, so I can actually have a tag sitting at my desk, and when I come in I'll throw my phone on it, and it will actually mute my volume and then potentially turn my Wi-Fi on, or maybe launch a clock or some specific application that I use every day when I get to work, maybe my calendar, that sort of thing. Then again, I like to have one maybe when I get into my car and I want it to connect to my Bluetooth, I want it to turn off Wi-Fi, or maybe turn on a Wi-Fi hotspot or something of that nature. I can put one of these on my dash and program it to do that. So these are just a few examples. When I get home, I'll have one next to my wall, next to my door, and I come home and I tap it, and then it'll turn my Wi-Fi on, connect to that router, and then also turn on my Bluetooth so it can communicate to my stereo, and then maybe launch Google Music and start playing my favorite music, all by just touching my phone to the tag. Very cool and very novel technology. So let's take a look at the type of software that you'll need, and we'll actually program a couple of them here. If you go out to the Play Store, you'll notice if you do a search for NFC, you'll notice that there's a few apps out there. The two that I have been using exclusively is the NFC Task Launcher, and then the other one is the Task Writer. And or Tag Stand Writer, I'm sorry, and I'll put links to both of these down on the description and on my website, reverendkyle.com. And you know, let's just go ahead and do that. Let's just make one to go out to reverendkyle.com. I like that idea. So let's just design one that does that real quick. So let's write our web address tag, and let's see here. Let's type a URL, and so. Let's do it all official. http://www. Reverend Kyle. .com. Okay, so reverendkyle.com, and I'm going to write the tag. So I'm going to hit write tag. And it wants me to place the tag against the back of the phone. Successful. Place another tag. Well, I'm only doing one. So I'm going to hit finish and home. And I'm just going to see what happens if I put the tag. Oh, look at that. Boom. It went straight out to my website just by touching the tag. Now, my Nexus 7 does not have... Let me zoom out a bit here. My Nexus 7 does not have any of these NFC tag software, any of these apps on it. So let's see what happens, and we'll get rid of the bacon photo for a moment. Alright, so this is just plain Jane. Let's see what happens if the Nexus 7 touches it. Boom. Takes me right out to the page. So this is without, and I realize that there's a tap a talk yes, and I apologize if that annoys you. The tag took me right out. So from an advertising standpoint, if you were running a, maybe trying to do some marketing, or you have a website that you frequent on a regular basis with your Android device and it has an NFC, you could program a tag to take you straight out to that just by touching the device to it. That is very cool. And knowing that you don't have to have any special applications installed on the device means that you could put something like this in your office and say, hey, if you want to go out to my website, just tap your NFC enabled device against this, and boom, it launches your browser and off it goes. Very cool. So let's take that away, and let's go back into Tag Stand. Let's see what else we can do. Looks like we can also write a Foursquare venue. Not a fan of Foursquare myself. Address book contact. Okay, additional tag types, right? Less common. Let's go see. So text. So a tag that displays text, a phone number. So if you have somebody that you email or want to call on a frequent basis, you could just take your phone and tap it against one of these guys for that purpose as well. Okay, so let's go out, and we'll go into the NFC Task Launcher. Now this was one that I found very cool because I want my phone to be manipulated. I'm tired of every time I come home, I have to turn my Wi-Fi on, I have to turn my Bluetooth on, I have to turn my volume back up. Those are things that I have to toggle because I'm either going to work or I'm going on my way home. So I can actually have profiles, or I can have, I can have it send an SMS. So let's say I want to let my wife know that I'm on my way home. I can put one of these on my car dashboard and set my phone on it. Boom, it sends a text message to let her know I'm on my way. So if I'm not home in an hour, she knows to call the police. Let's see here. I have already designed this tag to I wrote, and you know what, I'll just make a new one here. Let's see here. So I'm going to have Wi-Fi. Let's see here. Let's make a new one. Let's just start over from scratch. And this isn't really a this isn't really a tutorial on how to make tags, it's just a look at what it can do. So I'm going to make a NFC, and I'm going to call it, let's see, I'm just going to call it home. Okay, so I'm going to add an action, and I'm going to say, alright, go into Wi-Fi and toggle my Wi-Fi. Okay, and I can choose to either enable, disable, or toggle. I'm just going to make it toggle. Okay, and then I'm going to add another action, and I'm going to say, okay, turn on Bluetooth. And hit next, and I'm going to tell it to toggle Bluetooth. So this tag is going to do those two things, and I can go in and let's see here. And it also integrates with Tasker, if you know what that is. So we'll just leave it at that. So it's going to turn on Wi-Fi and or it's going to toggle Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. So I'm going to save and write, and I can make the choice of making the tag read only. I don't recommend doing that. These are reusable. So place the tag on the phone over the tag to write. Okay, so here we go. Oh, you know what? I don't think it did it. Oh, there we go. Results. Tag written successfully. So it's very important that you have it lined up with where it's supposed to be. So now I come home, and I'll just show you here, just for demonstration purposes. Wi-Fi is off right now, and so is Bluetooth. So come home, put the tag. There we go. You heard it. It beeped. Wi-Fi and Bluetooth have both been turned on. There, your Wi-Fi just connected, and Bluetooth is waiting because my speakers aren't on right now, so it'll never connect. So now it's time to go back to work. Boom. Audio. And I'll drag this down. Wi-Fi is now off. Bluetooth is now off. So that is the advantage to NFC, and I have a, like I said, Tags for Droid was nice enough to give me the little keychain guy, so I could put that with my keys. So if I have something I toggle on a regular basis, boom, boom, and I'll even show you here. See, it doesn't work on the front. I wish it worked on the front. So touch the back of my phone, it toggled. Okay, touch back to the phone, boom. Turns it back off. So that's just my thing that I use on a regular basis. But I do encourage you to play with this. This is really fun technology. It's emerging. I have a feeling that that this will become a big deal. I do want to show you without the apps that the Nexus 7 without the app, the Nexus 7 doesn't understand what the hell this is, and so it takes you out to the Play Store and tells you, hey, you might want to download the NFC Task Launcher in order to use this specific tag. So somebody comes over to your house and wants to use your NFC tags and they don't have this, boom, here you go, it's going to take them out. So, I think I'm going to leave you with that. Definitely want you to go out and try to play with the NFC. A lot of fun. This has been Reverend Kyle showing you how to use NFC on your Nexus devices.